Well, people across the country are celebrating the birth of our country back on July 4th, 1776. That's the same day a veteran buried in Van Wert County was also born. James L. Coe has been forgotten by many for more than 100 years, buried without a marker. That is until now. Fox 55's Cody Butler has the story you'll only see here.
These anomalies will show up sometimes, especially in small towns.
James L. Coe, a veteran from the War of 1812, laid to rest for more than 100 years.
He was just by himself, and that doesn't make us feel very good as veterans.
However, not many knew about him. His grave was unmarked like those beside him until recently.
To me, that seemed reprehensible, that somehow we didn't know as veterans.
Bill Marshall is the Van Wert County Veteran Commissioner.
But I always had a really strange feeling about following the story about James L. Coe.
Coe is the oldest vet buried in Woodland Cemetery. He is surrounded by hundreds of other men and women who also defended Old Glory.
This last Memorial Day, we put 2,200 flags in our cemetery.
All likely laid to rest with military honors, except for Coe. That's why Marshall is planning a ceremony for him later this month.
We did the right thing to begin with, but we want to go maybe one step more.
Marshall began investigating because the story was too fascinating. He found Coe fought the British near the Canadian border. Then he came to Northwest Ohio in 1855 on land given to him for his service at the corner of Feesby, Wisner, and John Brown Roads in Union Township.
Said, "You're not going to believe this. This is where I grew up. This block of land that this gentleman had, this 160 acres, was my family farm."
Coe's home is long gone, replaced with corn and wind turbines, but the connection remains.
I had always heard from my parents that the property that we owned was actually at one time owned by a soldier that had been given for their war service.
That's part of the reason why Marshall wants to hold a memorial service for him. However, he hasn't found any living relatives for Coe.
What we want to do is bring the veteran community together to honor this man who was in an unmarked grave for over 100 years.
A tribute to a man who was forgotten, now a hero always remembered. In Van Wert, Cody Butler, Fox 55 News.